If you are anything less than 100 years old, you have been hearing a bunch of lies about God for your entire life. The truth has been covered up for so many years. The truth has been covered up so much until it's more popular now to believe a lie than it is to believe the truth. It's been covered up so much until when you hear a lie, you amen it. When you hear a lie, you get happy. But when somebody tells you the truth, you doubt them. When somebody tells you the truth, you disagree with them. You're ready to argue. You're ready to fight. That's how much the truth has been covered up. One thing that I know about the truth is that the truth gets results. Nobody can argue about that. One thing you know is that the truth always gets results. If I say it's raining outside, you might even be blind, but all you got to do is walk outside, and if you don't get wet, you know I'm not telling the truth. You know I'm lying if you walk outside and don't get wet. When I said it was raining, I lied. Bottom line, the truth gets results. When you walk out there, you should get wet. That is the test. That is the bottom line. That's how you're able to test everything out here. The truth gets results. But now, when you hear a pastor telling you a bunch of lies, they're feeding you lie after lie after lie, and you jumping and shouting and running, you're not testing what these people are saying. This is what JT was talking about the other day, talking about testing the messages that you hear from your pastor. If you're not testing this stuff, you're never going to realize that you're being lied to. If you're just taking somebody's word for everything that they say, how will you ever know if they're telling the truth or if they're lying? That's why the world now is running off of a bunch of lies. Most of the people out here now are believing and living by a bunch of lies. And I used to do the exact same thing. I used to live my life based on a bunch of lies until I started saying, let me see if this is true. Let me see if that is true. And I started applying stuff. And there were things that I applied to my life that never manifested into nothing. You know what that means? It wasn't true. There were things that I applied to my money that didn't amount to nothing. You know what that means? It wasn't true. There were things that I applied to my family that didn't amount to nothing because it wasn't true. But when I started applying truth to my life, I got results. This only started like a little over 8 years ago, almost 9, somewhere in there, 8.5, 9 years ago. The truth got results. At some point, you gonna have to test what you think you know in order to find out what's true and what's false. After you have been lied to year after year after year, it's almost impossible to recognize what the truth is. After you have been lied to at the age of 3, and lied to at the age of 5, and lied to at the age of 7, lied to at the age of 9 and 10, if I catch you at 11 and 12, you don't know the truth. If you were lied to at the age of 12 and 13, lied to when you were 15, you're growing up hearing lies. You're growing up hearing fables. You're growing up listening to well thought out lies. You're growing up being taught to believe what's not true. If that's the case, the truth is going to sound like lies, and the lies are going to sound like truth. And the majority of the people you see, the majority of the people in church are living a bunch of lies. They're believing a bunch of lies, and they have been for years. I grew up hearing a bunch of lies, stuff that sounded good. I saw the people running about what was being said. I saw the people dancing and getting excited about what was being said. But when I looked for results, when I looked for evidence of this truth, I found out it's not true, and it never was true. The truth about God has been hidden. The hidden truth. The truth about God has been covered up. The truth about who you are and what you are has been covered up. The truth about your abilities has been covered up. It has been hidden from you. And I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for people who can't see this and people who will never see this. People who are living their lives based on what they have seen and heard for the last 10 years. Living their lives based on what they have seen, heard, and been told for the last 20 years. I feel sorry for the people who are still living their lives based on what they were taught for the last 30 or 40 years. I feel sorry for you because you haven't seen past the lies and got a hold to the truth. You haven't overcome the false preachers, the false teachers, the false bishops, the fake evangelists, the money-hungry preachers. You haven't overcome them, and you haven't become the person you were created to be. And it's because you are still being deceived by well thought out lies. You are still being bamboozled by well thought out lies. People telling you how to live for God. Lies. People telling you that God is getting ready to bless you if you do this, that, and the other. Lies. Well thought out lies. People who are raising millions of dollars because they have a congregation full of idiots. You don't even have to rewind that. I'm going to say it again. They raise millions of dollars because they have a congregation full of idiots who don't mind pumping money into that building, pumping money into this false prophet, never realizing that what you are expecting to get in return never manifests. But you still sit up and keep feeding on lies after lies after lies. You are gambling with your life. Are you really willing to put your life up against what you've been taught? Are you really willing to put your life up against what you believe right now? Are you really willing to put your life up against the way you live right now? The way I believe, the way that I live, I'm going to take this truth to the grave. I will go to my grave living by what I know to be true right now. That's how bold I am in the truth of God's word. That's how bold I am in the results that I get from applying God's system to my life. Are you that bold in what you say you believe? Are you really willing to go to your grave living the way you live right now? Believing what you say you believe right now? Really? You are gambling with your life. You know you haven't gotten one result from what you say you believe. You know you haven't got one result from what you've been doing for the last 20 years. You know you are not seeing in your life what the word says you're supposed to see. But people have given you excuses. They have given you something to throw off on, like you're really not supposed to see that in your life. The blessings of God is not for everybody. All lies. Well, God blesses some people and other people are just supposed to go through. All lies. Well, there's a certain time, if you just keep doing what you're doing, just wait on the Lord and it's going to happen for you. Your ship going to come in one day. All lies. Are you really going to waste your entire life believing the same lies? You have wasted 5, 10, 15, 20 years already. Some folks done wasted 25, 30, 40 years already. How many years are you going to wait to get a result from what you say you believe? Can't you see that something is wrong? Please wake up. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm just saying, please wake up. There are only two ways of life for mankind. You either live God's way, by God's design, by what I call God's system, or you live the other way. That's it. It's only two ways. You live by God's way, or you live the other way. The other way is demonic because it's not 100% truth. The other way is demonic. I don't care what the other way is. If it's not God's way, is demonic. It's only two sides, the side of Christ or the side of Antichrist. So whatever you call that other way is demonic. Are you going to choose God's way, which gets results, which is 100% truth? Or are you going to choose the other way, which some people call doing it their own way? No, it's not doing it your way. It's demonic. So are you going to choose God's way or your way, which is demonic? Are you going to choose God's way or are you going to choose your religion, which is demonic? Because every religion has some truth in it and the rest is lies. I don't care about you getting mad. Listen, every religion has some truth and the rest lies. Are you going to choose God's way as your way of life, or are you going to choose to be a Muslim, which is demonic? Are you going to choose God's way, or are you going to choose Buddhism, which is demonic? Are you going to choose God's way as your way of life, or are you going to choose Hinduism, which is demonic? Are you going to choose God's way, or are you going to choose Christianity, which is demonic? Are you going to choose God's way, or are you going to choose another well thought out lie, which is demonic? It's only truth or lies. If you take the truth and mix in one lie, it's got to go on the demonic side. If you take the truth and mix in one lie, it is now of the devil. The truth has been covered up. It has been covered up intentionally. Intentionally. So now, when you go try to research something, you get all lies. You don't even get to come in contact with the truth. You got to want the truth. This is why so few find it, because it's hidden. This is why so few find the truth, because people don't want to spend time finding the truth. People don't want to spend time testing the truth. People don't want to spend time figuring out who is of God and who is not of God. They just want to go with the flow. Because if I just go with the flow, I can say, hey, I went to church today. Now I can go have fun. If I just go with the flow, I can say, hey, I went and made $200 today. Now I can just have fun. If you just go with the flow, you can say, hey, it is what it is. But I promise you, the day is coming when you gonna wish you had found the truth. The day is coming when you gonna wish you had to listen to God's true prophets. The day is coming when you gonna hate the fact that you followed lies for your entire life. The day is coming when you gonna wish you had listened. The day is coming when you gonna wish you had sought out the truth, because the truth is hidden.